recording. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jacqueline. I'm the Director of Aesthetics for Hand & Stone, and today I am joined by a few lovely members of the greengrass team, as well as Ryan McKean on the massage and recruiting side for Hand & Stone Canada. And we have Marlo here as well, the Director of Canadian Operations. I'm so used to saying Aesthetic Operations. We also have Liz Gibb here. Hi, Liz. And we are joined by the greengrass team. I am really excited for today's all department staff session, really open to all for an educational overview of the entire brand, from the brand, ethos and history to the products themselves. If you have any questions throughout the webinar, feel free to go ahead and type them in the chat. We'll stop periodically and we'll also stop at the end. And this will be recorded and shared. So if we have any owners or managers joining that are watching first, we will be sharing this in the launch communication again in the newsletter. So you can feel free to pass to your teams. If you want to hold off on passing, maybe towards a later date closer to when you might be launching, that's fine as well. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and pass this over to Susan.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Canadian team, joining me above and below me. And I'm really glad to be here. Last week we presented to the owners, and then I was fortunate enough to meet, I hope some of you in Toronto, was that last month, or time flies by. So perhaps some of you are joining here as well, but that's me. You can see me in the screen. You can see me with, that's actually my best friend's dog. And I happen to be in Pittsburgh right now, just south of Toronto. So that's her house and her dog that I borrowed for a picture. So we have our team that we will be supporting Canada. The key person who will be supporting Canada is Kimberly, and she's on, oh, there she is. So Kimberly Wagner will be our point of contact, and we'll definitely share her information as well. And we'll be making sure to open up her information to you if you have questions or need training, or she will coordinate all of that for you all. So that's my grandmother. So M. Greengrass, the M in M. Greengrass stands for Minnie, and that was my dad's mom. And really, she came over in the early 1900s to Pittsburgh, which is where I am right now at my mom's house. And she came over as she was about 19 years old and moved from Russia. She came over just with her brother, and they left their country and came over really for a better life here. And then got a job here, and in Pittsburgh, they were rolling cigars, and she met my grandfather, and they got married and had 7 kids here in the city. But I always like to start with the why. So, but that is Minnie. But I like to start with the why, because I think that's what really touches our company and touches our team and really drives us as a brand. And we really believe that our product, our brand, can be the catalyst for people to be kinder, to be nicer, to give back, to donate, to do whatever it is that you can do. And we don't want to dictate, you should donate, you should give back, you should save the world. It's up to you what you can do. And I think that I don't like to be told what to do. And for those of you that know me or are starting to know me more and more, I'm super stubborn, and I really don't like to be told what to do. I'm staying at my mom's house right now, and even I'm grown and I have my own business and kids and house and all of that, she still continues to tell me what knife to use in my house. So as a business owner, we don't believe that we should dictate what your why is, or what you should do to make the world a better place. But we really want you to think about, as service providers too, of, what can you do personally to share that, our ethos, in what is meaningful for you. So we have 5 pillars in our brand that we talk about. And first of all, you heard a little bit about people over products. Our products, the quality has to be great in order to get to accomplish our why. And if we want the product to be a vehicle for that why, of course, it has to be the best quality that there is. And so, but we still go back to our why, and our mission is that we really want this to be the catalyst to make people to think about that connection, those how to be kinder and nicer, just smile at somebody, to give that back to people. And then heritage. My ancestors on both sides came over from Eastern Europe. And so if you look at our products, you look at our packaging, or if you've seen it, I'm not sure who came to the Esthetician Connection that was in Toronto, but every single label has inspired by a place. And so part of that is really to celebrate people that have made up North America, because now we can say Canada too, because it's very much the same, as people have come from everywhere to establish the United States and Canada. And so we celebrate that with really calling that out on a lot of our packaging as well. And then accessible quality. We use extremely high quality ingredients. We use great packaging, and it is something that's really important that we're not marking things up. We compete with a Joe Malone candle. We compete with a Nest candle. We compete in those higher, beautiful luxury brands, but we have made really decisions to make sure that it is not at that luxury brand price. So we continue to improve. We continue to look at how we can improve our formulas and launch new ones at that type of quality. And then sustainability is another one of our pillars. We don't believe in waste. We don't believe that you'll notice there's no outer packaging on any of our products. There's no secondary cartons. And we do that very intentionally, because as much waste as we can eliminate, we do that. So where we don't have to put extra packaging, we don't do it. And then we also really believe in the reusability of our jars. Our candle jars are made with food safe organic paint. They're made in the States, and you can use them for food. You can use them for cotton balls. You can use them for, I have a really big succulent garden in my kitchen window. And that's something that, we really encourage that reuse. We also have recyclable packaging in our butters, and then our scrubs. And then we also have our dry oil spray, which is our #1 SKU. It's in glass. So we encourage you, can you use it for a plant spray, or can you mix your own tonics? We really, really like people to reuse the packaging. And then finally, and most importantly, and this call, of course, is geared towards service providers, but this connection. And that is really, to me, is one of the most important things that we encourage and talk about and celebrate as a brand. So as skincare therapists, estheticians, massage therapists, you all have such an important role in this world right now, where people are disconnected. People are truly a little bit less engaged, and we can say it's COVID and that's driven people. But even prior to COVID, because of technology, because of these little magic phones, we text, we don't show up, we don't call as much, we do things that we are a little bit less together. And what you do as service providers is you have the power of touch. There is no other career that I can think of that really has that ability to connect the way that you do. You think about yourselves and you add on the word therapist, and I'm sure all of you have incredible stories about the fact of how much you are a therapist, mental therapist, because this touch is so, so important. And you listen to your clients, you hear, you are a confidant, I'm sure, a lot of times, and you are sometimes that person's only connection, human connection. So value what you do, pat yourselves on the back, and really understand how important this industry is to human beings. And I think in Canada, even more than the US, it's a really higher level position than even it is here, and higher valued position that it is. And I'm not saying it's not valued here, but I think it's elevated a little bit more in Canada. So if you look at our packaging, the details matter. So everything that we do, and I'm a graphic designer by trade, and that's what my degree is in. And so when I was designing the packaging, it was really important that there was something that it was inspired by. It's a why. So if you look at the top card, that's an inspection card. So when my ancestors and many others came over, they had an inspection card. So this was coming to Ellis Island, and they would have to get it stamped every day. It was for health. It was for keeping track of the people that were on the ships. And so when we designed the labels, I used the inspection card as the motivation, or as the inspiration for all of our labels. So we do have several categories of products. We do skincare, body care, and home fragrance. And so, of course, not all of these are offered at Hand and Stone, but really we focus on the body and our home fragrance. And so when people ask me, okay, summarize what you do as a brand. And it took a little bit of time, because you'll learn I like to talk and I like to tell stories. So, but if I was to summarize what it is, our products and our services have all been developed to have an impact on social causes, whatever those might be. You can pick, but we really want to have an impact on that: the skin, the body, and the senses. So first of all, our body care. And there's a lot of body care out there. There's a lot of lotion, there's a lot of scrubs. And it was, I come from 30 years in not 30, 20, I lied, 20 something, let's just say, years in skincare and professional skincare. I actually lived in Canada, and in Toronto, I was the sales, or the VP of sales for Dermalogica Canada. So anyway, so I've been in this industry for a long time. So when developing our body care, I wanted to make sure that the ingredients that we put into our body care were at the level of a professional skincare brand. And so we use beautiful, clean ingredients in our body care formulations. We also make sure that they are vegan, they're free of parabens, PEGs, sulfates, phthalates, that's in the fragrance end, mineral oil, petrolatum, and gluten. And of course, we never, ever, ever test on animals. We're all animal rescuers and savers out here. So to talk a little bit about the overview of our body products, we have 3 that are available. And if you know of Pond's cold cream, or you've heard of Pond's cold cream, my grandmothers both used it. And I remember my grandmother on my mom's side, I remember that smell, and it was really greasy and almost like frosting. I don't know any other way to say it. And it had this distinct smell. But my grandmother, I just remember she would put it on to remove her makeup and her red lipstick, and she would use it as her moisturizer and then would keep it on as a mask. So it was this multi-purpose product. And I love the concept of that. And I love getting the most uses out of every product. I think that because why have 14 products that you can maybe use one product to do all of those things within reason, of course. So when we developed our products, we first started with a foaming body wash. And not only is it a wash, but it's a scrub. So, and it's gentle enough to use every single day. And I'll go into each of the products individually. So it's a dual product. And then our dry oil spray. And we learn, it's so funny because every time we do a session or we're out traveling, we learn new uses for the products. So our dry oil spray is for hair, for face, for body. So great for curly haired girls. Delaney, who's our marketing coordinator, has this beautiful curly hair, and she's in some of our ads actually. So swears by it. And we have a whole curly hair girl and boy following. But we also just heard about using it as a beard oil, because it doesn't leave you greasy, but it does what it's supposed to do. And then a pre-shave. So men on their beards and women for their legs, you let it soak in and then you shave. So the fact that we're now 5-in-1, we said 3-in-1, but now it's 5-in-1, and we're getting more stories all the time. And then finally, our hand and body butter, it's 3-in-1, or I'm sorry, 2-in-1. It's a hand cream and a body butter. So you don't need a hand cream and a body butter. It's all in one. So maybe they can get 2 fragrances instead of just a separate hand cream and a body butter. So let's talk a little bit about our foaming body scrub. It is a lightly foaming body scrub. So we don't use sodium lauryl sulfate. So what's nice about when you don't use it, you're not going to get that really high foaming scrub. You get a nice foam, and it's a great, I use it every single day. And, but you get this nice gel-based scrub that it does exfoliate, but it doesn't strip your skin. We use sodium hyaluronate. We use peptides, aloe, collagen, cinnamon leaf oil, which is interesting. It's antioxidant, but it also has antifungal and antibacterial properties to it. Sesame oil. So you really do get a nice moisturization from it, and chamomile that soothes and calms. And then we, of course, have all of the ingredients listed. The next product, which is our #1 product, and we've sold a lot of dry oil spray because once somebody starts using it, they are hooked forever. And as I mentioned before, it is a multi-purpose for hair, face, and body. I love it when I get out of the shower and I'm a little bit damp. I spray it and then rub it all over whatever's left on my hands. I put on my face and then rub it through my hair. This is not my natural color, and believe it or not. And so when I go process my hair, when I bleach my hair, my scalp gets a little bit angry because I have a double process. And so when I go to sleep at night, I saturate my scalp with a dry oil. I wrap my hair in one of those pretty hair towels, and by morning, my scalp feels great and everything is in order. So the dry oil spray, why is it a dry oil? First of all, we use oils that have a fine molecular structure, small molecular structure, so they penetrate into the skin beautifully. That's also helped by the sprayer is a fine mist sprayer, so you don't get globby globs of oil. It beautifully flows over your skin, and then you can rub it on. We have ceramides, we have shea butter, avocado oil, sunflower seed oil, grapeseed oil, olive oil, and vitamin E. So really, really beautiful, beautiful oils that all do not leave you greasy, because the way we formulate, just to reiterate, but just really go into your skin and leave your skin really moisturized.
And so any estheticians on the line, think of this like your serums with the smaller molecular size penetrating further into the skin to moisturize those layers of the skin, but then you still layer a moisturizer on top, as that outer barrier of skin also needs moisture. So really every layer of the skin.
Thank you. You put it, I couldn't have put it any better than that. And then finally, with our hand and body butter, and there's something interesting with what Jacqueline said, is that our hand and body butter, we worked really hard at this formula because I don't like a sticky moisturizer. That makes me crazy if it leaves any tack on you, or any products, but really a moisturizer, I didn't want it to be sticky. I wanted it to really make sure that you were moisturized, but I didn't want you to be greasy when you're done with it. So this is the formula, and it penetrates so amazingly well, but it then coats your skin. We put in dimethicone, because what that does is you have all these amazing safflower seed oil, aloe, shea butter, sesame oil, vitamin E, that all goes in, but the dimethicone really puts a shell around it, and you can look at it that way. So you have your oil, your dry oil spray. If you put this over, you're just sealing it all in. And again, you don't feel greasy from it. So it leaves your skin just beautifully finished. The other thing is they're all calming and soothing. The chamomile that's in there, it actually calms and soothes. So for compromised skin, for people that have challenged skin, we have heard great results for with using both the hand and body butter and the dry oil spray. And then we have this bit of magic. This is only in Back Bar right now. It's our head to toe sugar scrub that is so deliciously yummy. We started off using the retail scrub and for the Back Bar treatment, but through feedback in the test, it wasn't scrubby enough. So we created from all of your feedback, well, yours and your hand and stones in the states that were in our test program, the head to toe sugar scrub. And it is outstanding. It couldn't have gone any better. It is brown sugar, white sugar. It has mango seed butter in it, raspberry seed extract. It has bamboo powder. So it has really like 3 different levels of scrub. The white sugar is bigger crystals. The brown sugar is medium. And then the bamboo powder is really the finest. And then it's in this base of complete yumminess. So we have fragrance free, and then we have our 5 fragrances. And even the fragrance free, it smells like the brown sugar and it's so, I can't even tell you, it's so good. It leaves your skin beautifully finished. So it scrubs, but then when you remove it, you're left with that triple dose of moisturizers. So incredible product. And maybe someday we'll do it as a retail product, but for now it is just in the Back Bar. So it's done really, really well. And it really creates a fantastic treatment.
Yeah, and how I like to think of it is that this is going to be your not so daily treatment for the hand or foot, and then they can keep up with that daily with the foaming body scrub because it's not as harsh, because this is definitely not a daily product.
Exactly. So then to wrap it all up with our candles, because we have the 4 retail products, is our candles, we use a proprietary soy and coconut wax blend. It is a high quality one. Waxes can be all different levels, from very inexpensive with high paraffin to that's very inexpensive to very expensive blends. And we really invest in the quality of wax that we use. And we use a little bit of food grade paraffin to make sure that fragrance throws. So there's cold throw and there's warm throw. Cold throw is when you open the jar and you can smell it immediately. And then warm throw is when you're burning it, or our candles actually, because of the lid and they're very contained, you can use a candle warmer. So you don't have to use our candles with flame. And because of the quality of wax that we use and because of the quality of fragrance that we use, you really have this ability to use it both ways. So there's your two-in-one product. The candle wicks we use are lead-free cotton wicks, and the fragrances, again, we invest a lot of time and energy into the blends that we use. You will notice that they're not single note blends. We really have blends that are very complex, there's a lot of fragrances that go together that you'd be like, oh, why are you putting coconut with a sandalwood? Or why are you there's some things that go together that are not normally put together, because we really like those surprises with our fragrances. And our fragrances are either inspired by trips that I've taken or inspired by people that they're like, oh, my ancestors are from Sicily. Can you do something there? Or one is our Belize, our pineapple and cilantro, which is, we took a vacation a few years ago to Belize, which everything is cilantro and pineapple and really yummy. So that was inspired by that. So every fragrance does have a story to it, and absolutely is inspired by that. Summer in Nice is when my husband and I went to France in, what was 96, I want to say, or 98 World Cup. And so we stayed in Nice, and there's this ice cream shop, and it was just breathtaking and yummy food and everything about it. So I felt like it deserved a fragrance. But I have more stories for you if you want. Anyway, so going to the professional products, because we are not only retail, but we also have our back bar sizes of the products. So our fragrances that come in back bar, also our retail, are fragrance free. Our retail doesn't come in fragrance free yet, but I know we've gotten a lot of requests. We have cardamom lavender, which happens to be our #1 fragrance. We have sweet clementine, Manhattan Beach, Northern Lights, and Malibu Surfer. Our scrub and our hand and body butter come in quart sizes versus gallons. So you have the ability to, you can keep everything represented, but if you do better with fragrance free or Manhattan Beach, you have the ability to not order another whole gallon, but you can customize it in that way. And then we also have our dry oil spray, which is how I buy it, but the dry oil spray, and that does come in a gallon, and because it is fragrance free and that is not scented. Next. So I don't know if anybody joined our scent class. I teach a fragrance class because I love it. I love everything about fragrance and the history of it. But the power of scent and why we're so excited about this, having this customizable treatment in the treatment room, is that it really impacts the client's experience. And because they can pick their fragrance, because they can scent that mood, they can scent that experience, it becomes their experience. And what with studies have shown with scent and really touching all the senses, the more senses that you touch, the more powerful that experience will become. It becomes a multisensorial experience. So at Hand and Stone, you are doing that. So visually, when you walk into a Hand and Stone, every Hand and Stone is perfection. Every detail, every paint color, every texture is thought out, and it becomes your visual experience. And then you have taste. Some of you use the drops, the water drops. I like watermelon, personal favorite. I carry it with me. I travel with it. I think it's one of the best things ever. But some of you finish off your treatments with those drops. And so now you have the taste. Music, hearing. So hearing, you have the music going in your treatment rooms, in the spa, and it's typically relaxing and soothing. Touch, those are your magic hands, of course. And then now, not that you didn't have smell before, but the fact that you have this customizable ability to scent that treatment, scent that room, and it's their choice, it really makes a difference. So those are things that, those are things to think about, and how you can really raise that level of the treatment with having that ability to customize. Then they can take those products home and essentially take you home with them, because they're going to assign that, like if it's Northern Lights, they had this wonderful, incredible treatment. They smell the Northern Lights. Then when they're home, they smell that same fragrance. It can pull them really, really back into that experience. The more pleasant the memory, then the more they will like that fragrance. And it creates that bond, not only with you, Hand and Stone, but with that fragrance. We actually, we categorize our fragrances, and it's called fragrance genealogy. And we do it to simplify it. If you look at one of these fragrance genealogy charts, that if you're in a fragrance house or you're in a fragrance place, it's hundreds of different divisions. We simplified it. We've divided ours into watery, fresh, citrus, spice, wood, floral, gourmand, green, and fruity. And so this is a great guide, so you can ask your clients, tell me what types of fragrances do you like? Watery, fresh? Do you like citrus? So it's a good guide. And then when you're recommending the fragrance, you can start with that fragrance. In our core fragrances, we only have 5. So it's a good starting place to guide them and start them on that journey. So we have 5 fragrances, as I had said, in our core fragrance offering. That's in those body products in the back bar. Manhattan Beach, which is our first fragrance. That's what we started out with. And it is inspired by beach air. And that's where I live, actually. And it's a beautiful, clean, bright, fresh fragrance. It has a little bit of musk at the bottom note and a little bit of soft woods at the base, just to anchor it. But it's really bright, clean, fresh. And Jacqueline's favorite fragrance. I know you have big sizes of things around because that's your go-to.
I do. I'm very lucky.
And then we have Sweet Clementine, inspired by Spain. And this lives in the citrus category. However, it has a lot of warmth to it because we put citrus, but we added in a little bit of fruit, peach, there's mango. So it softens that, which citrus can be really sharp and not even in a bad way, but it can be really bright. This warms it up because there's mango, there's blackcurrant, there's vanilla and musk. So it's a little bit warmer citrus. To me, this is I would describe it as a mouth-watering fragrance. And then we have our cardamom lavender, #1 by far in every single SKU, right, Jacqueline? Every single SKU. Cardamom lavender, candles.
Yes.
Everything across the board, inspired by India. It's also originally, it was inspired by a cup of coffee at Portola Coffee in Costa Mesa, but it's the latte that I love. It's a cardamom lavender rose latte, which is brilliant. But anyway, this fragrance, it doesn't smell like lavender. It doesn't smell like coffee. It doesn't smell like rose. This truly is, every single ingredient works together to make this fragrance. And it is, every time you smell it, you smell something different. And it is a beautiful, it's perfect for spa because it wraps you. It is comforting and soothing. And then we have Northern Lights, which we know it's a little bit more masculine, although it is definitely unisex, but it is, we've heard it called hot man. We've called it hot date night. It is a really beautiful fragrance. I would describe this as very bright, very fresh, very crisp. It has apple, it has fruit, but then you have oak moss, amber, and patchouli, which are a little bit more warmth and manly at the bottom note, but it's really beautiful. And actually, I'm going to Iceland in April, and I hope to see real Northern Lights so I can experience it. And then finally, our Malibu Surfer, which is modeled after Sex Wax, for those of you that might know surf wax. My son is a surfer. And so I was like, ooh, that smells good, but it's a little plasticky, but I think it's a good note that we can inspire us to have this fragrance. So this is definitely beachy and transports you for sure to the beach and those types of smell, but it's done in fine fragrance. So you take those pineapples and bananas and coconuts, but then added amber and floral. So it has this really rich warmth at the bottom. So those are our 5 cores. And then we do have fragrances that are available in only candles. Summer and Nice that I had mentioned, that's Finocchio, the ice cream store. And then we have coconut pitaya. It's inspired by Thailand. And to me, it is a fruity fragrance, but you have these surprises of the bamboo and the sandalwood and the musk at the bottom note. And when it burns, it gets really almost vanilla-y, even though there is no vanilla in that fragrance. Pineapple cilantro, it is pineapple forward and really, really a bright, bright, bright fragrance. And to me, happy fragrance. And then crisp linen, it lives in a fresh and clean category, but it has a little more warmth because it's fresh and clean, but it has sandalwood, patchouli, and tonka bean. So it's a little bit heavier at the bottom notes. So those are all available. And then we will be launching our winter collection mid-October as well. So we'll be adding a few more fragrances onto the collection, and we call them winter, not holiday, because they can live much longer into January, February, March. So they're not just they're just not holiday. And those were our last year's, and those will be coming back as well. So balsam and fir, if you want a Christmas tree in your house, there it is. But it's not just Christmas tree. It has other notes to it. So it's a really well-balanced fragrance. Pumpkin, you have to have a pumpkin. So we have our pumpkin, pomegranate, and cassis. It's really a very crisp currant type of fragrance. And then our ice sugar cookie that if you would shut your eyes when you're burning it, you'd swear there were cookies baking in your kitchen. Next. And just some imagery of our product, what we feel like we look like. And then the other thing is when we do send a lot of product to Canada, and they pay the $8 million in shipping and duties and everything to get it there. So we're excited to have a place where people actually, our consumers, can go and shop and smell the products, because they buy it and they buy it blindly. And so once we're launched, then we will be putting you on a finder, and we will e-blast our Canadian consumers to let them know that we're now with Hand and Stone. That's us when we were at the Canada Aesthetic Showcase. It was so much fun. I got to tour my old house while I was there. It was great. So when we created this program, I always believe in the why, as I started this day, and the program goals were to look at how can we have better client retention, how can we drive retail, how can we drive new clientele, and how can we engage the service provider. And I think if you look and you listen to what I just went through with our brand, we're adding something new. We're adding this piece where people can choose and experience their fragrances. It's not just a hand enhancement. It truly, we've done so many studies on actually what the power of touch in hands. It actually lowers blood pressure. I didn't talk about that at the beginning. It lowers stress hormones. This isn't just that enhancement that happens in the treatment room. It isn't just about because your manager owner said you have to add on 20 more. It really has such health benefits to it. And now you can customize the fragrance, which wasn't available before, or fragrance free for those that absolutely didn't want a fragrance or don't want a fragrance. And that in turn is adding newness to your clients. It's driving your retail because there is the perfect retail connection. They chose their fragrance in the treatment room. So now it has a much easier retail connection for them to take that experience home. And then new clientele. This is something new that you can talk about. This is something new in Canada. So something that you can really share to drive that new clientele. And then this is something for you as service providers too. It's almost the same treatment, but you're adding in the dry oil spray, but it's something new for you to experience and really engage your clients.
I personally just wanted to share some of these, owner testimonials that we received in the United States, and just what their sentiments on the brand was, the partnership, how valuable. So if you see what this quote is mainly about from the Laguna Beach Spa is the sensory bar. So in this picture, that's that bar that you see right there. You can have that displayed with your retail products. So that way they can smell a little sample, like sniffer size, that's what they call them, sniffers, of each one, and then they can pick the retail component. It can also be up at the front desk along with like a hand and foot treatment counter card. So they smell these, they fall in love with this scent, and they want to add it on to their massage or facial that day. These can also be in the treatment rooms with the customizable, fragrance counter card. So when they come in for a massage or facial, would you like to smell any of these scents and see if you'd like to add on a hand or foot treatment with these customized scents today? So the sensory bar is the big differentiator here. It gets them to purchase the retail products. It gets them to add on the hand and foot treatments, and it overall just engages the client, and especially that appealing and shoppable boutique feel. I personally have a shelfie in my bathroom displaying my products that I don't use. I purchase other products that I actually use, but I have ones just that I have on display. So you can see here, this is the little sniffers up at the front desk. Really, the body butter is incredibly soft and luxurious for the skin. And working with the Greengrass team, they're so responsive and educational and informative. And I will say, from an ancillary vendor, never did I ever expect the type of involvement, engagement, passion from an ancillary vendor. I mean, even some of our main vendors, don't give us this much care and literally white glove care. So expect to see a lot of involvement in them from education, training, and support. So really excited about that. And I think that's what's the big differentiator here as well. And so you can see here the products. And again, that sniffer bar, this is exactly what I'm talking about. So you have the sniffers that engage them, and then you have that suggestion for the hot towel hand or foot treatment. And so really everybody is just kind of selling them, but they just sell themselves. People just add on a hand or foot treatment after smelling it. They get the hand or foot treatment. They want to buy the products. They're browsing and shopping your lobby, and they just add these onto their ticket, whether or not they had a hand or foot treatment or not, or somebody's coming in to purchase a gift card and they're adding this onto the gift as well. Or maybe they're not getting a gift card and they need a smaller type gift. Maybe it's just for a teacher or something. So then they're getting a scrub or a body butter. And then this is our Washington spa. So same thing, they have those sniffers there. The support by the Greengrass team has been excellent. Enjoying the retail product sales. It gives everybody additional products that they're comfortable selling. So I think that that's a big piece here. And so the hand or foot treatment. So this is an example, the other one had that example of the actual price. This one's a good one to keep just like in the treatment rooms, select your personalized fragrance for your session today. It lists them all, and you would have that sniffer bar there. It has the sugar scrub, the dry oil spray, and then the hand and body butter. So really the only difference in this compared to what we were doing is the addition of the dry oil spray, which you're simply just spraying. It takes 3 seconds, and that one always comes unscented in the hand and foot treatments because we have the scented scrub and we have the scented body butter, honestly, just to make it easy. And also so you don't have a surplus of inventory of several different of the oil scents. These all come in fragrance free, but the dry oil will always come fragrance free, whereas the sugar scrub and body butter can be fragranced. And so I am having this in the slide deck, so it will be in the slides, but we also have an official protocol document as well that's up on the LMS, and it's up on your library as well, but it's also here in the slide deck. So you can see the exact amounts and exactly the process of the hand treatment as well as the foot treatment. So again, really not anything crazy. In addition, just that unscented dry oil. You're just spraying that.
Oh, it's me now. So and that's Delaney's hair when I talked about curly hair girls. So that's actually her hair. And Delaney is our marketing coordinator that some of you might sometimes speak with. And anyway, so our education strategy, we do monthly webinars. So we have different trainings that go on. If there's other trainings that you'd like to see, let us know. We're always open to absolutely creating trainings for our partners. And then we will do virtual trainings for your locations if we can't be there in person. And it's just really by request, and we'll set that up. And then you, of course, have all of your recorded on demand on your LMS. And then this is a planogram based on grouping the different fragrances or the same fragrance category together. Some people do all the butters together. That's up to you. This is just a nice guide.
I'm a fan of the fragrances together.
Yeah, I think it's easier, and let's talk about the next steps. This is a picture of the sensory bar. And this is really important that you put this at the cash wrap. And then also we give you sets for your treatment room. So this is a great place if you have it at your cash wrap when your clients are checking in, you can, while you're getting them checked in, you can recommend that they actually try our new greengrass sniffers. They come in 5 fragrances, and you can customize your treatment, your hand and foot treatment in the back. You can also, we have products that you can bring home. So it comes in candles, bath and body products, and then let them just scent or smell. So we have a little bit of a training class on that as well, but put it out. That's why we make these. And all they are, because we get so many questions, they are actually candle wax with the fragrance in it. And because we want to make sure that it gives it that creamy fragrance, and it really works well. And then the treatment room, you can put a tray together, and when your clients are getting changed, you can leave that sensory bar there and say, oh, when you're ready, go ahead and smell the sensory bar, and you can pick your fragrance, your preferred fragrance for the hand and foot treatment, or we also have fragrance free.
And so this is what I meant by an official protocol document. So we do have this to print out or to send the PDF to your staff on the library, as well as on the LMS. And if you want to look at the full LMS training folder, so for any massage therapists, estheticians, spa associates, you have access to this. It's training, all staff vendor partner trainings, and then it's going to be greengrass. So under your Canadian folder, it's going to be right on there for you. And then you can just access that, the product knowledge fact sheets, all recorded webinar trainings. You can access the protocols, really everything educational you're able to access there. And then any live webinars, because greengrass hosts different monthly webinars on different topics. We'll share those in the Facebook groups. We'll share them on the services newsletter that goes out to your owners and managers. So you can definitely join them live as well if you have different questions that you'd like to ask. And speaking of questions, I'm not sure if anyone has any that's on the line, but we definitely do have some time to answer them for you. Given a few.
For the people that are on the call, has anybody tried the product? Were you at the Esthetician Connection?
I was.
Me too. And Kimberly.
I use it and I love it.
Yay. And where are you located?
I'm in North Carolina, so I actually work for Hand & Stone Corporate. So
Okay.
yeah, I've gotten lots of samples, and then somehow this stuff leaves my house with my friends. So I've made a couple of orders, and I have it in my bathroom, in my bedroom, in my kitchen.
Okay. Well, you can stay then.
Yeah. Thanks.
Susan, it's Liz here.
Hey, Liz.
Hi. I wanted to say too, I use it, and I work for corporate, but when you sent the package, I think I shared this with you and Kimberly, when you sent the package, I had a friend over that stopped in, and she has psoriasis, very bad psoriasis on her hands and her feet. And she has to use Vaseline, actually, is kind of the only thing that will keep her hands moist. So Vaseline's very slippery. It makes it very challenging. So she right away grabbed the body butter and the oil, and off she went with it. So I'm just, I think if it can go beyond just smelling nice and feeling good, it can actually, for some people could be a game changer.
Thank you for that feedback.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I mean, it's no question that I love the products. I love them in so many different ways because I love the way that they display, which is why I have them displayed in my bathroom. And I love the way they display in the lobby, at the front desk, on the retail walls. I think that they really make us a more prestige retail and shoppable environment for yourself, for gifts to display like I do. I love to, because I'm an esthetician, I love to layer them. So I love to do the dry oil first, and then I like to do the body butter for a couple of reasons. I like that it moisturizes and softens the different layers of the skin at different depths, because they do have different molecular weights and sizes, but it also increases the longevity of the fragrance on your body when you're layering it like that as well. And I am a dry oil in my hair lover, specifically because it is dry. Whether I wear my hair curly, whether I straighten it, whether I curl it, because it's a dry oil, it doesn't leave my hair greasy. I will not like finish my hair without it now. And I also love that it adds that fragrance. So when you whip your hair on your shoulder, you get a nice waft of Manhattan Beach. So I really
I love it for second day hair, Jack.
yeah. So like just to kind of like tame the, I don't know, it's really amazing. I love the body scrub in the shower, anything. So I am definitely a lover and a believer. And could you get cheaper products, at what's your pharmacy up there? Shoppers? Could you get cheaper products at Shoppers? Sure, of course. Clients also could get cheaper skincare products there as well, but it's really about the quality, the efficacy, the standards, the packaging, all of that is what it's about. And that's what we educate our clients about. And that's what clients know coming in, when they're seeing all of this and the quality.
I love the packaging. I think it really elevates our lobbies.
Mhm.
We've had some retail products that have just not, really looked like hand and stone or the feel that we're trying to go for. And then Greengrass is just so beautiful. It's just like it's a whole vibe, I think.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So I didn't see any questions come in. So I just want to thank you all for joining today. Thank you to the Greengrass team for your continued education, support, your launch in Canada. Thanks to my fellow team members up in Canada for joining us and supporting us today. And I wish you all the best of luck. Should you have any questions, you know where to find us. Definitely reach out to us.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining.
Thank you, Susan. Bye.
Bye.